All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Fly and LawLiet, taking place here on Volcanic Mines, and well, it's the all the random version. If you guys do not know what all the random is, everything is random. Your races, your heroes, and the mercenaries you train from the shop. The only thing that isn't random are I believe the units you train, just because, well, they didn't want to randomize that, give it a little bit of consistency. And what I like about this particular mod is it still feels like Warcraft 3. You still see races, you still see matchups. Hi, good morning, good after, good evening, however you may be watching and listening. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. And for all you guys out there, day after Father's Day here in the United States of America, um, you know, hats off to all the good fathers out there, and well, and all those fathers who are trying to be good fathers, right? It's it's not easy. I wish I could talk to my dad. Not that we're estranged, but this side of heaven can't talk to him. It was a it was a very emotional day for me, more than I thought it would be, even though he's passed for quite some time now, 20 years. Um, but yeah, it's you get those moments where you reflect and you think and you wish you could show the people you care about how far you've come and how much you've learned. And that's all the reminiscing I'll do here as we are about to get to the 2 minute mark of this game. Yeah, did not think that I would be doing this with you. Um, Feels like I'm having a one-sided conversation, but if you decided not to jump to the 2 minute mark, well, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully, tell someone that you truly, genuinely care about them and that you love them and that you want the best for them. Anyways, let's see what the heroes are going to be. Goblin Alchemist coming across from LawLiet. Meanwhile, Fly, well, is going to be a Crypt Lord. All right, so the Crypt Lord popping out here doesn't seem too odd at all. Did not go for beetles. And what's interesting here is Fly. Normally, undead players know to go out, know to kill a unit first, and then by killing that unit first, waiting for the unit to be able to pop up, and then go after more of these creep camps. Mud Golem gonna get taken down, but remember, this is one of those situations where the Mud Golem doesn't actually drop a corpse. And so Undead, trying to go after that Mud Golem, it is a medium armored unit, but there are no corpses. So what does that mean? Well, it means that this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Meanwhile, down across here, a Crystal Ball quickly picked up by the Goblin Alchemist and used to try and see what his opponent is doing. There's the reveal right there. Wand of Illusion now on the move as well. Going to be trying to do a little bit of scouting. We're going to see that. And what the Razorback Medicine Man, I believe that is what his name is. For all of you WoW folks out there, if I misused a name, my apologies. Warcraft lore and Warcraft 3, all of those things just trying to come together. LawLiet off to the north here should still be trying to do some creeping. There's that illusion wandering around. And this may be one of those situations where you're just not sure what your opponent, how you should be playing this, right? We see that there is Healing Spray first coming in from LawLiet. And, well, Healing Spray first, no Acid Bomb, would normally mean, hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and clear out creep camps. I want to clear out creep camps. I want to get to level 3. I want to do all this. Walking all the way across the map here, that's going to be a little bit of a difficult sail. You can see that the expansion is already up and operational for LawLiet. We're going to see a delay on this Haunted Gold Mines as Acolytes are being trained up. So anytime that you're able to heal or anytime you're able to delay, that is a good thing. One footman does get taken out here. So burning a Scroll of Town Portal, two footmen saved, one footman lost, and now bringing them all back home to perhaps go after this other creep camp here. This is a Stone Maul ogre and also an ogre warrior. So I guess in this situation, one head is better than two. The ogre warrior, 2 heads is the level 3. Meanwhile, the Stone Maul ogre has 1 head and is level 6. So 1 head better than 2. here on, well, Volcanic Mines, as we're looking at the Stonewall Ogre and the Ogre Warrior getting taken down. Alchemist still staying at level 2 though, but does pick up a Talisman of Evasion. That should be a very nice pickup for the Alchemist. Anytime you can add Evasion or Armor to a strength-based hero, a heavy strength-based hero such as the Alchemist, well, his effective hit points go up dramatically. All right, gonna go after this Wildkin Skeletal Mage creep camp here. Meanwhile, Undead making its way across here. We are looking at level 2 Beetles, level 1 Impale, and, well, how many towers do we need? All right, this could potentially be a problem. Beetles now trying to make their way over. They are, well, some are the level 1 variety, some are the level 2, and here is what's going down. That Arcane Tower trying to feed back that illusion here as we're going to be going into an engagement. Forest Troll, that Red Dragon Whelp. That is going to be a big deal there. The Forest Troll Shadow Priest, is he going to get saved? No, he is not. We're going to see some damage. Acid Bomb, the level 2 Acid Bomb, going to finish off some of these other units as we see some healing spray, but that's quickly stopped by an Impale. Nicely done there by Fly, using that Impale to stop a spell. That Impale, well, cooldown and not being accurately shown here, as LawLiet does grab a Polar Bear to join in on this fight. Are we going to perhaps see a little bit more damage going down onto the Cryptlord? Cryptlord could be in a little bit of trouble. He tries to impale, trying to break free, unable to do so, and Fly is in some serious trouble, loses that level 3 Cryptlord, and, well, a tactical retreat, units trying to retreat back out. We're going to see a little bit more damage. Ghouls are trying to engage. Not quite sure why this one ghoul is still in this fight right now. That ghoul should be backing up. Where is that red Drake? I don't see where the Drake went. And we're up. Yeah, that red Drake, that one air flying unit, able to do so much. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, there's a Clarity Potion and a Scroll of Regeneration. A little bit more heals coming across. 39 supply compared to 35. Now, Cryptlord, level 2 ghouls not, well, we're gonna get back to work. We can see tech to tier 2 nearly done. Meanwhile, LawLiet is actually a little bit further behind, but now also going into scout towers, getting lumber harvesting and getting that masonry upgrade. Meanwhile, a little bit of slow sludge getting thrown onto that Cryptlord. That Cryptlord could be in a lot of trouble, already down to 329 hit points. And we're going to see the skeletal minions now make their way over. Guard tower nearly done. We're going to have the arcane tower perhaps try and feed back here, try to take down some of these as more ghouls are making their way over. Beetles are coming up again, and we're looking at the guard tower nearly done, upgrading to a scout tower here. All right, Forest Troll, Alchemist, well, trying to finish off this Razorman Brute and the Razormane, Medicine Man. Alchemist is sitting at level 2, but needs to find a way to perhaps try and clear this up here. We can see, wow, LawLiet with a Nerubian Seer, and this is going to summon up a whole bunch of different skeletal, or be able to summon up a bunch more skeletal minions. All right, so, LawLiet bringing in a good number of units, trying to summon up more, trying to fight back here. Arcane Tower trying to feed back this Cryptlord, and, well, this Red Dragon Whelp, more Red Dragon Whelps making their way over, and then perhaps going to be able to push down, perhaps take down some of these units again. All right, low hit point ghouls. Nerubian Seer is going to be able to finish off the Cryptlord in time. No, it is not. More and more units getting popped up right here. There goes another peasant. He's not able to make its way out, but this is all experience going toward the Goblin Alchemist, who's now sitting at 4.5. All right, more guard towers being placed down. Masonry upgrade was not completed yet. Feels like it was started so long ago. We're looking at another expansion here by LawLiet, though, at the 3 o'clock spot. So 3 base human versus 2 base undead here on Volcanic Mines, and that's not something I've said in a long time. The overall meta has really changed. So to actually see a 3 base human, is just rather odd. On top of this, we do also have the Nerubian Seer and all of these creeps. So these creep camps are going to be incredibly important in trying to summon up additional units. Now, remember, the creep camps a certain amount of time needs to elapse before more units are going to be trained up. Fly now coming across here. There's more beetles. Scout tower, and here we are. Here we go. Arcane tower. More towers trying to get constructed, but the skeletal minions and the beetles may be able to do a bit of work first. However, off to the north here, we're looking at the sludge monstrosity. We can see a salamander here as well, trying to put in pressure. Centaur Impaler dealing quite a bit of damage with those searing arrows. They should get taken down though pretty quickly as well if they actually try to engage here. Dalaran reject. Oh. And as we're looking at the units back off to the north here. All right, Ghouls trying to retreat back. There are no towers here. There's a bunch of Ziggurats. No upgrade to tower. We're going to be seeing a big fight. There is, well, an acid bomb, healing spray. And this salamander is not long for this world, taking quite a bit of focus fire, focus damage. There's a scroll of healing to try to keep him alive. And then Pale trying to keep him alive, but not going to be enough. Meanwhile, the Goblin Alchemist, now sitting at level 5, does have a scroll of healing. Is he going to use that scroll of healing? Yes, he does. Farseer now out here onto the battlefield. Some Spirit Wolves now summoned. So a bunch of summoned units coming back across as we see this, well, Nerubian Seer able to do quite a bit more. LawLiet getting in an additional creep here, or some additional units. There goes another Impale. That Elder Jungle Stalker now joining in on the battle, but doesn't have any big auras. Just a big tanky, beefy unit as the units are continuing the fight. Level 5 now here on the Goblin Alchemist. Goblin Alchemist, if it gets, oh, what is this? Now a Harpy Queen out here onto the battle. So being able to fight with your back to the mercenary camp, so incredibly important in all the random as you have access to the mercenaries first. All right, units trying to retreat back. Giant Sea Turtle trying to retreat all the way here down to 90 hit points, and he's able to back up. All right, Obsidian Statue. Well, one of the biggest strengths for Undead, able to contribute both hit points and mana to this undead or all the random army. Meanwhile, more towers being placed down now, and we are looking at level 1 masonry upgrades. We should be looking at some additional upgrades here. That is just claws of attack +5. Looking at perhaps going to try to hire up some more mercenaries from this camp here. What else can be hired up? Perhaps needing a little bit more gold. You can see 30 gold a second. And that is so incredibly important as LawLiet perhaps wants to bank up a large amount of gold and then say, surprise, here's a whole bunch of units at your front door. Now, it appears LawLiet's strategy is go solo alchemist, get to level 6, and then perhaps use transmute extremely efficiently to clear out to win the gold advantage. Alchemist, however, does need a way to get a little bit more mana. Should have used a clarity potion. As clarity potions become very, very effective and efficient sources of mana later in the game, especially with that alchemist so close to level 6. Alright, going after all of these units here, we can see a couple of infernal contraptions as well, dealing piercing damage. Kind of look like siege engines, but they are not, and they are mechanical. Those will get taken down right there, and you can see the jungle or the Sasquatch Oracle able to deal quite a bit of damage here, and unit after unit falling. Alright, Farseer getting to level 3. And, well, the Crypt Lord now at level 5. This is going to be incredibly important. Having multiple level 5 heroes, I've said it in the past, being able to have multiple level 5 heroes is such a big win. 2 level 5 heroes often trump a level 7 hero, and with that, I think it's about the same amount of experience to get 1 hero to level 7 as opposed to 2 heroes to level 5, especially how the game evolves with creeping, right? There are some red creep camps out here on the corner of the map. We're going to be looking at Undead Army, or the Undead All the Random Army now making its way down. There are some guard towers, a lot of guard towers here. We do see level 2 masonry upgrades. Right, they're not going to be able to push back enough here. Perhaps the destroyer are going to be taking a little bit of damage. There's 2 destroyers right there, and that little bit of magic splash damage is going to be incredibly important. Guard tower going to get taken down once more. More attacks coming across here, but fairly well protected coming in across the side as the wolves are not able to even push in easily. All right, this arcane vault about to fall down here. This is going to be incredibly important. Meanwhile, the main base, well, all of the units are trying to retreat back here. Another ziggurat going to get taken out here. 66 supply compared to 67. Gold still being mined up here as the, well, Fly's expansion here on the 9 o'clock side about to be completed. All right, the Sasquatch Oracle does have rejuvenation. We're going to be looking at this haunted gold mine getting taken out. Meanwhile, this gold mine also going to be suffering quite a bit of damage as well. Arcane Tower should be feeding back that Crypt Lord. Yes, it is. Finally pushing pressure back on this Crypt Lord here as the Farseer now inches closer to level 4. Alchemist is still sitting at 5.7 here, and we're going to see some damage onto this Black Citadel. There's a big roar. There's some more units getting trained up here. Sasquatch, remember, does have chaos damage, so he deals full damage here. A lot of these other units are piercing damage, but the Harpy Queen and the Sasquatch deal full damage to all buildings. All right, coming back across here. Well, this expansion is going to try and get set up here. LawLiet is just expanding like crazy, trying to get this up and running. Meanwhile, the Black Citadel is lost. Alchemist should be trying to Scroll of Town portal here and try and protect this location. I'm not quite sure why he isn't. So many towers here. This is such a good defensive position. 62 supply and guard towers should be able to focus down the destroyers, as the destroyers have much shorter range. And what is going down here? Still a little bit of base clearing, and it is going to be 2 bases to 2 bases as the desert, or as LawLiet, able to clear up the remainder of these carrion beetles here. Now, one important thing to note, Fly needs to rebuild his Black Citadel. He lost a lot of his infrastructure. He lost his he lost the ability to train up obsidian statues, and well, with the loss of that Black Citadel, already back to the very, very base beginning. All right, LawLiet gonna go ahead and try to clear that out here as well. There's some flying machines ready to go. Arcane towers trying to feed back, perhaps going to get some damage. And here we are, a couple of Crypt Fiends down here across as well. 70 over 100 supply here. We're going to see another base of Fly get taken down. This base also getting cleaned up. And what is going on? Both sides are running on single bases right now. This base has about 10 minutes of mining left. Scroll of Town Parada Alchemist is going to go, well, teleport and join in and perhaps try and take down some of these buildings here. We're going to look at the Obsidian statue down to 130 hit points. If it does get taken down, the Alchemist would have gotten to level 6. Not quite sure where the destroyers are. There goes the Crypt Fiend. There's level 6. We need to see a transmute. There's that transmute, gets the gold. And now the Alchemist is just going to be throwing transmutation bottles to convert things to gold constantly throughout this game. LawLiet also running up on multiple bases here. These bases were not lost, so LawLiet should easily win out in the economic game, especially as transmute, well, that cooldown is already nearly halfway completed. Transmute an expensive unit. After you transmute it, buy a potion of mana, rinse and repeat. And, well, your opponent is forced to try and build a go-wide army. Anything with above 4 supply or higher, or 3 supply or higher is, becomes priority targets. But how much stronger can that Alchemist really get? That is going to be the question as we're nearing level 6 on that Crypt Lord and level 5 on that Farseer. Wolves trying to dive across here. We're going to see the Spirit Wolves quickly getting taken out. Alchemist is already sitting at 6.5. Meanwhile, a Knight is going to look to take down this Necropolis, going to re-haunt this gold mine here as the starting expansion about to run out of gold as well. All right, a Red Dragon Whelp hanging back here, going to try to finish off some of these other units. We're looking at, well, Infernal Machine doing a little bit of poking, a little bit of slow coming across. Where is the army of LawLiet? LawLiet has, 70 over 100, building up more towers, and this is just playing a very, very annoying game. Oh, no Arcane Sentry, and with no Arcane Sentry, the Wolves quickly able to run on by and put in pressure. Here we are, here we go. Scout Tower looks like it's going to get destroyed. Yep, there's level 6 now on the Crypt Lord. The Crypt Lord able to get to level 6 off of an upgrading Scout Tower, as the Crypt Lord now, well, with that Locust Swarm, there goes a quick web onto the Harpy Queen, but remember, it does have heavy armor, making it, more difficult to get taken down, and now goes back into the air. Oh, Chain Lightning finishes it off. A beautiful Chain Lightning finishing off a couple of units. Alchemist continuing to try and finish off some of those units as well. There's level 7 now on that Alchemist. Is he going to have Chemical Rage that will go after units? 50 supply compared to 41, and the Crypt Lord's Locust Swarm dealing quite a bit of damage here as the Arcane Towers, well, don't quite have sight onto these wolves just quite yet. Meanwhile, what is going down here? Scroll of Town Portal, Farseer are going to be able to retreat back. Magnetar Reaver, well, the fighting companion alongside that Alchemist as he picks up a Scroll of Town Portal as well. Siege Engine making his way through, trying to take down all of these buildings once more as we're looking at, well, this base about to get cleared up pretty quickly. Yeah, just finishing all of these units off here. All right. A lot happening, a lot going on. We're looking at Fly, who does have a Harpy Queen. Haunted Gold Mine still has about 4,000 gold left there, so that's about 6.5 minutes of mining. A little bit of repairs. This poor peasant is just trying to get bags of gold back to that town hall. We're looking at this Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord, is he gonna be able to break free here? There is a Staff of Teleportation. No easy way to, well, stun him. And that Crypt Lord. Oh wait, how did he stop? Did the Magnetar Reaver get in a stun? No, oh my gosh. All right, Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist now going to go after this Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord falls at level 6. All right, so the Magnetar Reaver had a way to stun. And with the stun, the Crypt Lord, well, stunned, gets taken down, and now needs to retreat back. LawLiet currently sitting on multiple gold mines, just waiting to bank up a large amount of gold, and in banking up that large amount of gold, well, oh, Goblin Alchemist needs a little bit more. Once again, there's a stun as well. A Goblin Alchemist needs a little bit more gold. That's why I said Clarity Potions were incredibly important. Goblin Alchemist down to 700 hit points, 600 hit points. He needs to break free. What is he gonna do? There's a well, Potion of Mana. There's gonna be a Transmute. Oh, he impales. All right, one good stun deserves another. Goblin Alchemist didn't use the Scroll of Town Portal. He got extremely greedy, was trying to get a Transmute off first, and in doing so ends up suffering. Fly trying to retreat back with that Harpy Queen, and the Goblin Alchemist needs to get resurrected, and is resurrected back at that tavern. No Clarity Potion early on translated into mana issues. Having mana issues, well, led the way to that, well, death right there. Canceling a couple of, well, scout towers here, and human versus undead, multiple bases with fully upgraded towers. Masonry upgrade feels like it's a blast from the past back in like 2008 when players were just only built guard towers to try and win economically over undead. All right, Harpy Queen, well, cleaning things up here at one last Arcane Tower. Meanwhile, Goblin Alchemist, what is he doing? Did he transmute again? Yes, he did. He just needs to save all of that gold pretty much constantly. And look at that mana regeneration as well. 34 intelligence, very, very smart. Well, brains and bronze type of thing. High hit points, 1,425 hit points, even without a pure up or no strength-based items. So very, very large right there. Now, Farseer is sitting at level 6, so if this turns into a building-based race, this becomes extremely interesting as the Farseer has ways of dealing large amounts of damage to buildings. Earthquake, potentially, well, groundbreaking in terms of opening up and being able to take down buildings. Fly, also very defensive at this northern expansion here. That's going to be a difficult location to break as well. Main base of LawLiet already mined out. Off to the north here, Fly only has 1,200 gold mine, or 1,200 gold left at this gold mine here. Are we going to see a Scroll of Town Portal to try and defend? We're sitting on nearly 2,000 gold. Perhaps he hired up some more units from a mercenary camp. No, he didn't. Still sitting on 15 right there, and now going after this necropolis here. All right, a new town hall trying to take this 9 o'clock expansion location. So just building expansions everywhere you can. We're 24 minutes into this game, and with no clear winner as of yet. Multiple heroes, but, well, here's one of those strange situations. The Alchemist, his ultimate ability is only effective if your opponent has units. Meanwhile, the Farseer, his ultimate is effective as long as your opponent has buildings. And last time I checked, when you run out of buildings, that's when you lose, not when you run out of units. All right, gonna go ahead and continue to fight its way through. That was a big impale, stopping much of this build here. It looks like the town hall is gonna get completed. Oh no, what? Wow, that is like one shot away, or one tap away from being completed. There's a quick cancellation once more, as the, well, Death Revenant and Goblin Alchemist now make their way down. Are we gonna see? There's a Magnetar Reaver there. There's a handful of buildings off to the north. There's an Elder Warlock by Fly, as the heroes are just wandering around here. Are we going to see a transmute? Needs to see a little bit more gold, and, well, trying to go after. There's a, I think that was a Death Coil. The Death Coil actually able to go down on the Farseer, I believe, since, well, the Crypt Lord is actually, well, immune to it, or, well, benefits from Death Coils normally. Alright, Flying Machine gives True Sight. We're going to be looking at the Wolf here taking quite a bit of damage. And, well, the Shadow Wolves with those critical strikes should be able to take down more of those peasants again. Mining, we are looking at 2 base mining, or, yeah, 2 base mining here. As, well, oh, the Blue Dragon getting webbed down. And Pain Touch there from the Elder Warlock. I can't believe I actually remembered that ability, as we're looking at more damage coming across. All right, Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist trying to make its way through, trying to save. There's the Staff of Sanctuary saving from the Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist. Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist, however, doesn't have mana, and this is always the key here. You need to have mana on that, on LawLiet's unit, and once you have mana, where did he go? All right. Gonna go ahead and Healing Spray. There's that Clarity Potion. You need to have mana on that Goblin Alchemist to use Transmute. And, well, on a map like this, it's incredibly important to have Transmute ready to try and take down some of these Harpy Queens and some of these others higher tier mercenaries that are hired up. Alright, Blue Dragon, Staff of Sanctuary, continue to get healed here. Healing Spray, gonna top him off. Perhaps the Goblin Alchemist, yeah, didn't really need to use the Healing Spray there. Could have saved his mana. And by saving his mana and just letting time do its thing, right? Sanctuary, the Staff of Sanctuary buff would have eventually given it back to him. There's another Clarity Potion as well. And then, well, gonna slowly gain up a little bit more once again. Alright, Beetles trying to make their way through. You can see a little bit of gold left in this gold mine. Perhaps we can see long distance gold mine walking back to this castle here, as the Blue Dragon now on the move. Haunting of the gold mine in the center portion of the map. There's a lot of gold mines here on the volcanic mines, as a couple of peasants are going to try to make their way back. We can see a level 10 red dragon and a level 10 blue dragon. Both of those have the ability to devour. So with the ability to devour, they should be able to, well, I believe they have the ability to devour. They should be able to eat up any ground unit. As we see Earthquake come across. All right, Fly using Earthquake to great effect. Going to be able to take down this town hall. We can see some repairs are trying to be, well, keeping these buildings alive here, as we're looking at the units trying to back away. All right, no longer being revealed. There's a quick impale. That is quite a large amount of damage. Units trying to retreat back here. We're looking at a stun onto the Farseer. Farseer having a very, very bad day. Invul Potion transferred over. Crypt Lord now could have a very bad day as well. Both sides are fighting their way through. Invul Potion is only 7 seconds, and this one Farseer, well, gonna take quite a bit of damage, and it gets taken down. Level 9 9 on the Goblin Alchemist. Goblin Alchemist now going after the Elder Warlock here. Does have a Scroll of Town Portal. We're still seeing more damage. Healing Spray keeping that Alchemist alive. Alchemist down to 411 hit points. He's trying to retreat back away. I'm going to perhaps buy a potion of healing as the Locust Swarm is eating through all of those peasants there. All right, Alchemist does buy a potion of healing. Gonna head back off to the north. We're still seeing more damage. There's a stun onto the Elder Warlock. Elder Warlock gonna have a very bad day. Once more, we're looking at the Ice Revenant trying to get some damage in here. Are they gonna try and get saved? Perhaps Staff of Sanctuary should be used on one of these low hit point creeps here. The Blue Drake should be able to get in enough slow, and there finishes it off. Level 10 Goblin Alchemist, as we are looking at the peasants doing long distance mining to, well, get a little bit more gold still. Fly is actually better in terms of economic standing, fully saturating this haunted gold mine and now trying to set up another one here. We're looking at 43 supply compared to 18. And, well, what is this Alchemist doing? Alchemist picks up a potion and, well, Staff of Teleportation. It looks as though the Crypt Lord able to get away again. All right. Salamander Hatchling going to get finished off here. Goblin Alchemist, well, still needs to heal up quite a bit. We're going to see some other units just trying to get gold any way they can. Goblin Alchemist is maxed out on hero level. Carrion Beetle still looking to finish off a couple of buildings off to the side. And are we going to get a resurrection on that Farseer? I don't see an altar of the dead anywhere on the map. So unless he's going to revive at the tavern, which is extremely expensive, we're only looking at the Crypt Lord right now. All right. Little. Oh, there it is. There's the Devourer. All right, so the red dragon does have something in its belly. The blue dragon could also have something in its belly as well. Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist now coming across. Death Revenant is also online here. There's going to be a little bit of damage. That Carrion Beetle, not quite sure why the Blue Drake isn't bringing those up. More Skeletal Warriors now being brought online here. Haunted Goldmine nearly done. And I think the writing is on the wall. The Goblin Alchemist is still sitting on 1,300 gold. Still able to hire up some more very powerful mercenaries. As Fly has an Infernal? How did Fly get an Infernal?
A player's forces are under attack.
Summon Infernal? Okay, maybe it was an item. Maybe off of a red creep camp, summon Infernal. If he's a mercenary, it shouldn't be a timed life, right? And it should say level, unless it's summoned from a mercenary. So what mercenary could perhaps Infernal Juggernaut, a mechanical unit. The Infernal Juggernaut, I guess, was able to summon down an Infernal. All right, that makes sense. All right. I was looking for a Dreadlord on the map. Like, where is the Dreadlord? All right, Salamander Hatchling slowly being digested by a Dragon Turtle. We have a red dragon, a blue dragon, and a Dragon Turtle, and a Goblin Alchemist out here on the battlefield. So any unit out here on the battlefield will either be instantly turned to gold or could be instantly devoured. That's just, you need to bring 4 units out here onto the battlefield. And what was this anime dead? All right, so Death Revenant, you coming across here, finding Fly's graveyard, and then using Animate Dead as an ultimate ability, or as an ability from the Death Revenant to bring about all of these units here. All right, there's still some mechanical units. There's some little slow damage. Alchemist, is he going to be able to do anything here? Trying to go after that level 10 mechanical unit. There's a Transmute, finds the Obsidian statue across on the side here as the God get away. There's Locust Swarm, and units are still getting taken down. Remember, Goblin Alchemist, well, does have a large amount of hit points, so he's generally very effective against undead who likes to use a lot of spell damage to try and finish things off. Alchemist has to be careful, though. No, all right, I thought perhaps an Impale was going to happen here against that Alchemist, but with so many of these powerful level 10 and that level 9 Death Revenant out there on the battlefield, well, Fly has left the game. LawLiet winning this marathon match, 33-minute, nearly 34-minute game here on Volcanic Mines, all the random. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Yeah, total hero score, more hero score coming across from Fly, as he had a level 8 and a level 7 hero, but the Goblin Alchemist being able to use that gold effectively and transmute, well, just very powerful. I forget the level at which you can't use Charm and Transmute on Mercenaries, but that was the only reason why Fly could actually have units, because the level 10 units are immune to those spells.